2 weeks ago. A $10 XRP does not require much. The truth about inflow and market capitalization. So in reference with JP Morgan's study back in 2017, I believe it was in 2017. Regardless, when the cryptocurrency market cap was valued at about $300 billion, the total net inflow of money that was put into that cryptocurrency market as a whole was only $6 billion. $6 billion was invested, not $300 billion. The $300 billion was the agreed upon price on the order books and the total market capitalization, the agreed upon valuation of the market, even though there's only $6 billion in that market. So it's a whole new ballgame. This is not like stocks. So when someone says, oh, a $10 XRP will, have, depending on how you calculate it, $1 trillion market cap, that's not possible. That's too high. Wrong. This has nothing to do with the traditional models to value assets. All right, so we're going to finish it right here. Is XRP can never reach X amount because market cap. Great website, fudbingo.com. I've covered a lot of this in previous videos, but I want to emphasize this. Right here, Galgatron, you can go to the link right to his blog, read some different articles he's made. And again, market cap is a useless driver to determine anything meaningful. The only thing that matters is the utility of a coin in this speculative market. The crypto market is what we're referring to. People said the same thing when Bitcoin was $2 and even when it was $1,000. $100 XRP. I don't know if this is actually accurate math. Regardless, I don't care if it's 100 trillion valuation for XRP in the future. It doesn't matter. That's the agreed upon price, even if only a fraction of that amount is in the market. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to sell all of that and get a liquid 100 trillion. However, your net worth can still be extremely high holding those assets, especially if you liquidate them at a certain time in parts. So right here, most coins are locked up. I'd go so far as to say 95% of XRP are actually out of the market's reach. There's a large amount in escrow, especially a lot of banks and institutions are, starting to custody these assets and they're keeping that, on the down low for the time being. We have exchanges holding large amounts. The top 100 wallets are primarily exchanges. Everyone thinks it's all the Ripple executives, but not necessarily, and therefore do not contribute to the supply in the context of determining value. That leaves 5%, which is less than 5 billion XRP, and it's only this small pile of coins that everyone needing to procure XRP will be fighting over. The demand part of supply and demand is an aggregate of many forces, a combination of many forces, but those forces all sum together at the point of purchase on an exchange. When demand is greater than supply, the price goes up, and vice versa. Demand for XRP will come from one thing: increasing usage, utility. If I want to send my mother $150,000 worth of XRP, I'll create demand for that XRP. The more people buying their mother's shoe shops, the more demand gets created. And the higher the demand, the higher the price. So you might say, well, as soon as mom sells the XRP I sent her, we have a net zero situation and the price wouldn't change. Yes, you're correct. But if during my purchase, transmission, and mom's sale, someone else needs to buy some liquid XRP, there will be less supply of them available. When there's less supply, the price will be higher. Extend the scenario to where hundreds of thousands of transactions are happening per hour or simultaneously, when RippleNet is truly live and XRapid is launching all of these transactions, even 5% of Swiss network. And you should see that a lot of liquid XRP have been converted to in-flight XRP, drying up the supply and rapidly driving up the price because of scarcity. In other words, the volume of XRP utilization trades where XRP actually leaves one exchange for another for the purpose of value transfer, not speculative trading. That's a key difference. The purpose of value transfer will be what determines the basis for real demand. And it won't pay any attention whatsoever to said market cap. Market cap does not matter in this asset class. This is an emerging technology. This is a valuation model that may change in the future. And right now we're still using the old traditional ways for these digital assets because we do not know other ways to value them at this time. Demand is demand, and it will also be satisfied at any cost. Higher the volume, higher the demand, higher the price. there's less volatility and there's more liquidity. So guys, highly recommend you kind of just go through Galgatron's blogs. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. Again, I would highly just reference this, go through the blogs, and then just look throughout the rest of fudbingo.com. And I just wanted to address that. And remember, closing things out.
And don't be fooled by the fact that XRP is not going to be utilized, because it is. This is one of those examples of a payments company that is using XRP for their cross-border payment services. It launched in New Jersey. The company is called SendFriend. They are providing that low-cost, fast service for the immigrant workers from the Philippines who are moving money back to their home country from the United States. It started in New Jersey. I believe they took out a new license. I think it was Texas, but they are going to take out those licenses throughout the whole United States and get that billions of dollars moved from the U.S. to Philippines through this very focused company focusing on the immigrants working in the United States. It's just, so to think that everybody's going to wait for the banks is just crazy. To this article, which was so kindly sent to me by Seriously George, right? Seriously George, did I get that right? Simply George. Sorry. Yeah, she was so kind to send me this on Twitter. This is the Monetary Authority of Singapore. This is big news. They are going to extend licenses to non-bank players, which will allow up to 5 digital banks. What this means is this is another means to service those SMEs. It says it in this article. And the SMEs are going to be a huge spoke in that wheel, because as you know, Japan has already allowed those branchless banks since the 1990s. But because the banking is changing, you're going to see more and more of this. So the fact that Arthur Hayes says that the banks are going to, be decimated by it, I don't think so. They're going to change. It's going to evolve. It's going to look totally different in 5 years than it does today. All right, let's see what else. The last I want to tell you is, if you don't have time to do your own research, this is one really great source for you. This is Leonidas. He just did a Q2 report for 2019, and it breaks down everything that has happened in the XRP space and the Ripple space day by day by day. And you can see that, yeah, no one person could keep up on this. But if you are not keeping up on it, then you are not qualified to make those kinds of statements. And please, people out there, if you're listening to people, make sure they are people who are in the XRP community, because they are devoting a lot of time and research to understand this space. Somebody who's dishing up headlines from Crypto Panic is not someone you need to listen to.